Hello, everybody, and welcome to Iconic 24. I'm Matthew Meehee, and I'm the sales manager here at Vagaro. And we've got a great session for you today. But first, a little housekeeping. There are Iconic 24 sessions every Monday throughout September. Attend 3 of these Iconic 24 sessions for a chance to win an exclusive giveaway. For today's session, post in the chat, introduce yourself, and let us know where you're commenting from. Let us know any questions, add comments. We're going to be posting links and polls throughout the broadcast, so make sure to reply. Okay, let's go ahead and get into today's session and meet our wonderful guests. Today, we're talking to Vinny De Leon about master multi-location management, elevate your business, and boost growth. Vinny is a founder of Vinny's Barbershop and a master barber since 2010. He has led his shop to multiple awards and over $1 million in annual revenue, while also serving as a regional trainer, a mentor, and an iconic coach for Vagaro. Please welcome Vinny De Leon to Iconic 24.
Hey, Matthew, what's going on, man? How's everything going?
Very well. Thank you for asking. It's great to have you here today.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to do this with you guys and everybody that's online. What's up? Wanted to say hello to you guys as well.
Likewise. I love that. And so wanted to jump right into one of the questions we've talked a few times before. Vinny, your journey from cutting hair before your construction job to owning a multi-location business is incredibly inspiring. Can you share some key moments from your story that led you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I was in construction for many years. Long story short, it's a long story, but I'm going to cut it down as fast as I can. So I was cutting hair in construction, and 2010 wound up homeless with the recession. I was in barber school here in Texas, and I finally got a chance to visit with my daughter, and she was in my truck, and she was saying, "Dad, when can we go home? Dad, I want to go home. I want to go home." And I said, well, sweetheart, we'll get there soon. And all I did was just drive around the city for as long as I could, man, until I almost ran out of gas. I mean, I was just driving, and finally she fell asleep, and it was her birthday. So before she had actually fell asleep, I went inside of Randall's and I stole a cupcake. Don't judge me, but I stole a cupcake. I didn't have any money. And then I went to the dollar store next door, and I got a candle, and I put it in the actual cupcake, and I sang to her. And she ate the cupcake, and she finally fell asleep. And that was my realization, where I was like, wow, this is it. Like, my daughter is at home, and she don't even know she's at home. And so from that point on, I said, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can to show not only her, but myself that, you know what, I got to get out of this rut. And so that was a very pivotal moment for me. And I went full in on with barbering. And, as the years progressed, in 2017, we opened up our barbershop, and by 2020, we were doing $1 million in sales. So yeah, that's pretty much that particular moment that got me going. And, it's crazy, because when I tell people, they're like, man, how did you get to the point where you're making $1 million? And I was like, man, it was a long journey. It was a very, very long journey, but here we are, man, and we're having fun doing it. Now I get to be on this cool stage with you guys. You know what I mean? So we're having fun with it now.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to your success. And I think that overall, pulling those heartstrings definitely gives you an inspiration and a story to build off of. So I love hearing it, and I appreciate you sharing with the crowd today.
Yeah, man, no problem. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where it was just like, what do I do now? How do I do this? And I didn't want to go back to construction, but let me tell you, from that time, Matthew, I said, you know what, as long as I can control my future with my money, with my career, I want to do that. And the hair industry is that type of career where I was able to navigate and tread those waters, man. And so, when I first got into it, I didn't know how this worked. I didn't know what was good. I didn't know what was bad. I didn't know if I was doing it right, if I was doing it wrong. And we had one shop in 2017, and it just started growing. And I was doing one particular model. It was a commission-based model, and sorry guys, and it was a commission or booth rental model. And we started going 2 years later. We went into a booth rental model. I mean, we started as a booth rental model, and we went into a commission model in 2020. And that's whenever I sought out mentorship. And in 2017 we got hit with Harvey. Harvey hit us, and then so we had to rebuild. And then 2018 we finally got some momentum. 2019 we built up some momentum, and then I opened up a second location. And that's whenever I reached out for some help, man. And I said, dude, I need some help. And shout out to John Mosley, my mentor, man. I reached out to him and I said, dude, I need some help. I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know what this looks like. But you know, I need to do something different. And the reason that I wanted to do something different, Matt, is because I didn't want these families and their children to ever have to go through what I had went through. You know what I mean? And so I took it very personal. And so I told John, I don't know if I'm crazy. And he looked at me, he was like, no, you're very crazy. You are very crazy, but we can help you. So shout out to John Mosley, man. John really helped me out. And in 2020, no, I'm sorry, December of 2019, we opened our second location. And as we did that, then COVID hit us and shut me down. And for 2.5 months here in Texas. And we came back in May. And from May to December, we winded up doing $1 million in May to December. Yeah, it was insane. It was crazy growth, but it was cool. It's been a fun journey, like I said. So it's a little bit of how Vinny's got started.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. And it kind of melds the, concept of you have to have the right people in the place. You have to have the right tools. You have to have the right understanding and opportunities going through there. And so that kind of helps me understand a little bit of some of the challenges that you went through in utilizing, going from one location to many, expanding your business. If I was to ask, what are some key factors did you consider before deciding to go to additional locations? And how did you know when the right time to do so was?
So, man, that's a really good question because for me, and a lot of business owners, sometimes we feel like we're ready to grow and expand. Well, what happened was I was having a lot of people from a different area and they were starting to travel to my barbershop. And so I said, man, where are you guys coming from? And they would tell me the area that they were coming from. And they're like, Vinny, you really should open up a barbershop in this other location. So here's a little keynote for you guys. If you're watching, take this note. Ask your client where they're coming from. Ask your client what they want. Ask your client what hours they want. And that's all I did. And you'll be surprised. Your clients will literally tell you how they want to give you money. And so that's what I started to do. And I started to ask them. And so we had literally just got out of debt. Like I said, we had opened up the shop. We had didn't have any money, and whatever money we did have, and the business was growing, Harvey took it away. And so we had literally just got out of debt. And I told my wife, I said, I think it's time to open up another shop. And she was like, you're crazy. And I was like, yeah, I've been called worse before, but you know what? I think it's going to work. You know what I mean? Yep. And so she was like, but we just got out of debt. And I was like, but it's going to work. So I highly suggest that you don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't take that route. This was before I knew anything about business. So I just knew how to work hard, but long story short, we opened up the second location. But as I started to learn business, it's very important that you know data. You have to have data to tell you how to grow, when to grow, what to invest in, and KPIs, key performance indicators. It's very important that you have these things in place and you learn KPIs. You know what I mean? Get SOPs, standard operating procedures. Get these things in place and create systems and boundaries and limits, guidelines. So this way, you're not guessing at it and you could actually do it, and don't do it like the way that I did it. Now, as we grow, I have all of these systems in place, and that's what helps me now, Matthew, being able to expand and grow business. But when we first opened that location, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just had a bunch of hard work, and I had a grit, I had a grind. You know what I mean? That dog inside of me was like, look, let's go and get this. You know what I mean? And I did. And my wife was pulling her hair out, my poor wife. She was pulling her hair out, man. And she was like, what are you doing? But hey, it worked. You know what I mean? It worked. So I highly recommend, guys, please put a system in place. Please know what you're doing. Learn your business, learn business, period. And ask your clients what it is that they want from you. So that way you can better service them.
Absolutely. And should any of you guys watching, you want to share what your clients are doing, we'd love to hear back from you on that as well. Make it a community and really provide some ideas here. So again, I really appreciate that. And you kind of mentioned how some of the things mirror each other. One of the things I always utilize is the reports. And so one question I would have is, what of Vagaro's multi-location features specifically helped you get that data and get that information that you're looking for?
So before I had joined Vagaro, I was with another booking system. And like I said, it almost seemed like I was guessing. I was guessing at what was coming in, who was coming in, what client, where they were coming from. Is this a returning client? Is this an existing client? Did they book me online? Did they come in person? It was just so much data that I wasn't utilizing and I didn't understand it because the booking system that I had wasn't providing that. So when we made $1 million, by the way, I was on the first year. I thought I did something wrong, Matthew. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought I did something wrong. And the first thing I said was, I told my wife, I said, don't touch the money. Leave it alone. Don't touch the money. I don't know what I did. Something's wrong. Because in 2019, we only made $200,000 gross. $200,000 in 2020, we hit $1 million. So that's $800,000 gross. So I was like, I said, sweetheart, don't touch the money. Don't touch the money. And so I didn't know what I did. I didn't know if I was doing it right or wrong. So whenever I made that $1 million, I said, I need a system that can help me understand where this money is coming from. Yeah. So I reached out and I found Vagaro by way of John Mosley. And when I joined Vagaro, I was like, what? I love the feature of the dashboard. Okay, I love the dashboard feature that Vagaro has. I love the fact that they weren't charging my clients a fee to book me. You know what I mean? So essentially, that means my barbers can make more money. Yep. So as I started to really dive into Vagaro, my son and I, we started to really break that down, and we seen the dashboard. I was able to see percentages as to hours that were available for my barbers, hours that they were booked, the percentage of productivity from my barbers. I was able to see returning clients, new clients, online new clients. I was able to just really start to gauge that and trend that. So this way now I was super intentional with marketing, and Vagaro was able to tell me where my money was coming from. And then they also have this incredible feature where they actually project the money that you plan to make. So tips were projected, and that was incredible for me because I was like, oh my gosh, they even project tips. You know what I mean? That was super cool. And so I said, man, this could really help me grow my business. So when I joined Vagaro, I started to learn all the features that Vagaro has and how it was helping me. And so I just got it. And this is the cool part, is I started to customize Vagaro to my liking for my business, to what on the level that I understood business, to as I grow. This is the really, really cool part about Vagaro. As I grow my business, I'm able to Vagaro can meet me there. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope that does. If I keep learning and growing, Vagaro's learning and growing with me. It feels like, you know what I'm saying? So it's an incredible tool. So I started to use these dashboards, the online clients. I started to use the projected numbers. I started to use the marketing, the streamline marketing and that Vagaro has. And there's so many features. And so as we started to grow, we did 1.2 million in 21. In 22, we did 1.5 million. Last year, we did 1.8 million. This year, we did $1 million in 6 months. And so Vagaro has helped me. That just goes to show the growth, right? If I don't have these tools, I can't grow my business. Yep. And so now we are super intentional, even down to the point to where we have one-on-one meetings with our staff. And these one-on-one meetings, what we do is we literally pull up the reports based off of product sales, productivity, their percentage of hours that they're working, all the way down to projected tips. And Vagaro helps me have so much data per barber that I can actually have a healthy one-on-one meeting, so my barbers have a clear path of success in their careers. And so we're really invested into our team. And when they sit down, they just kind of scratch their head like, man, I thought I was doing so much better. You know what I mean? And it's not that they're doing bad, it's just different areas. What we do, I look at Vagaro as the light. We literally turn on the light in the dark area in their career, and Vagaro helps me kind of pinpoint where that dark area is, and then we just start helping them in their careers, man.
I love that. And again, I think a lot of it goes to you have to know the data to make the right decisions. And once you make the right decisions, it helps empower you to continue making those right decisions. And I think for, an employee, I love being informed by data with my managers and let them tell me where I should be leaning into and where I can hopefully improve. And so I'm glad to see that you're using those financial reports. I am a nerd about reporting and the flow of money, so it's good to see someone else like kind here, and it sounds like you definitely use those to your benefit.
Yeah, well, my son, he helps me out a lot, and my son is he's very analytical, very analytical. He's like a nerd, you know what I mean? I love him, but my son's a nerd. He just really is, and he nerds out, like he literally nerds out with Vagaro, and he comes home and he's like, "Hey, Vinny, have you seen this? This is what we can do. This is what we can do." And I'm like, "Hey, man, slow down, dude. I'm on overload right now." You know what I mean? Break it down. So we literally sit there for hours, like literally hours, and that's the fun part about business. Like literally, if you have the right tools for your business, it becomes fun. Business becomes really fun. And then what we do is we sit there and now we get these reports based off of, like I said, as we grow, it's like Vagaro is already there. And so we tap into more data, more analytics, and then we get that information, and it helps me continue to adjust my SOPs. And now it continues for us to stay creative in our business. And so the more creative you are as an owner, then the more your employees will feel that you're more engaged with them for their career. And so it's just full circle, man, and it works really well. So shout out to my son because he's really he helps me out a lot, man. He really does, man.
I love that. Definitely props to your son for that. And I think that it's really cool to be able to have a little bit of family dynamic in that business sense. So you're helping educate him. And at the same time, he's probably learning. And like you said, having a little bit of fun with that as well. And so I think a lot of the times in those spaces, it's important to pass that information on. And with a platform like Vagaro, extremely complex to give you the information you need, but easy enough to utilize so that you can use it with any age or any technology level. So I think that's really cool how you're utilizing that. And one of the things that you said actually does make me want to dive a little bit deeper into it. You mentioned that using Vagaro has also helped change your processes and procedures in your barbershops. And so could you share or at least elaborate a little bit further on the specific examples of how that transformation has reduced turnover or potentially improved productivity?
So, okay. Wow, there's so much that I can unpack on that one right there. But look, I'm going to make it as simple as I can, but powerful or impactful. So tips alone, right? Tips for me is a clear indicator as the service that we are providing for our clients. Tips are going to let me know what we're doing good, what we're not doing good. It's going to show me what services I'm able to look at, what services are selling and how much we can upsell from that particular service. Add-ons that Vagaro offers. It's able to show me, hey, how many shampoos are we doing? How much product are we selling? How many more shaves can we possibly get? What are we not doing? What is it that we can do? So what I do is I get these projected tip numbers, right? Like, and you guys heard me say that, but this is so key because in order for you to keep turnover down, you have to make sure your employees are taken care of. One way that we do that in our industry, in the barber industry, or in the hair industry in general, what we do is that tip money is free money. So if we can get more tips into the pockets of our employees, then they're not going to want to leave. For an example, this year alone, we are over $180,000 in tip money, free money, $180,000. So how am I able to gauge that? I'm able to gauge that because I can look at projected tips. So when I have one-on-one meetings with my guys, I'm saying, hey, listen, last month your tips were X amount of dollars. This month it went down. Where did we go wrong? What are we doing wrong? Was it back to school, or was it a holiday, or was it your vacation, or was it none of that? And you were here just as many hours, but your service, you're getting tired. Do I need to adjust your schedule? Do I need to get you some time off? Do I need to get you some more hours? Like, what do we need to do? So tips alone, right? Tips alone help me. But the other big key is for me is the streamline that Vagaro has with marketing. marketing really helps me out a lot. And so what I do is, if you click on my website, there's going to be a link to take you to my Instagram. If you click on my Instagram, there's going to be a link to take you to Vagaro. You click on Vagaro, it's going to kick you back to my email. If it kicks you to my email, you can always go back to my website. So with Vagaro, it's very streamlined, very streamlined. And so now anybody that finds me, it helps my brand, because now they see that it is very streamlined, from social media to emails to booking links to back to social media. So no matter which way they go, our marketing is tight. You know what I'm saying? And so whenever these barbers come in, or stylists, whatever the case is, when they come in, that is a huge selling point for me. And what I tell them is, listen, I'll do the marketing. I'll take care of your career. All I need you to do is show up and perform. And so when you can present business in that manner, it's going to help your business grow. We have 18 employees, okay? 18 employees. I don't have the luxury anymore of spending one-on-one time with each employee. It doesn't mean that I don't make time to shake their hand and check on their family. I just don't have the time to walk with them like I was in my early years. So now what I do is I make it a point to stay very intentional with my system and their career. So I don't micromanage people, I micromanage my system. And when I micromanage my system, my managers help manage the people. I don't believe in micromanaging. I was a horrible micromanager, by the way, before I learned all of these systems. And the reason the reason why most owners micromanage is because of the simple fact that they don't have a system and they feel they need to be doing everything. And so they don't know how much tip money's coming in. You don't know really how to market. You're struggling with reporting. You're struggling with taxes. Because you just don't know. And so, joining Vagaro again, guys, and I'm, forgive me if I sound redundant, but I'm telling you, asked about these little things that I use. The marketing that Vagaro has, as well as these little features, like I said, with tips and sales and add-ons and products and all of these features that Vagaro has, it's able to help me become intentional. And listen, you can't run a $1.8 million business with $100,000 mindset. You just can't. I can't continue to run business using a platform that is not working for me. You know what I'm saying? So when we have these one-on-ones, tip money alone, just on tips alone, my barbers, their mind are blown. I mean, it's like, man, I didn't realize I was making that much money, Vinny. And I was like, yeah, dude, it's incredible. But here's the other part too. Vagaro has a great feature that every barber can actually look at their numbers. And the reason why I like that is because each barber, it's very transparent. I'm very transparent. I'm an open book. So you don't have to guess at what you're doing. You don't have to guess at your productivity. You have access to your phone on your mobile device that you can actually look at your own numbers. You can look at your tips. And now let me tell you this, Matthew, the biggest thing that my barbers are doing now is $2,000 was average take home for my barbers. Now it's went up to 3,000. And I'm like, okay, guys, it's great. And now they're in competition to hit $4,000 a week. And let me tell you, I've been cutting some checks of $4,000 a week. And I'm like, guys, calm down. So now my guys are saying, Vinny, I only made $2,000 this week. Well, when was $2,000 ever bad? You know what I mean? They're like, it's only $2,000. I'm like, look, calm down, guys. You guys are killing it. Just relax. You know what I mean? So features like that, though, are really big for my business and how we scale our business, man.
I love that. Sometimes they say more money, more problems, but those are problems that it seems like we'll continue to have, and let's roll over and keep having those. And so I really like how you explained how not only you're empowering your employees to utilize that data, but, realistically, you're going through and talking to them about one-on-ones. And I think one of the beauties about Vagaro is that we help bring customers to your front door. We let you do everything that you do amazing, and then we provide you tools to help you retain those customers and have them keep coming back and coming back and coming back. That provides them the opportunity to, one, build in a really good community, but also hopefully increase those tip values for your individual providers. So I love that story. And again, share below if you guys have additional tools on how you're specifically using the features of Vagaro to help increase your overall bookings as well. And so you kind of said it yourself. the most important thing out of every shop is the clients. That's one of those things, is to where by clients returning over and over again, it probably helps you grow to the level, but it also helps spread some of the awareness of what the great things that you guys are doing. And so how do you ensure consistency and quality and customer experience across all of your locations?
So again, standard operating procedures. There's a clear standard, and it starts with me, right? I'm in here an hour before my first client. That being said, I get managers, and we train our managers, and then the managers help manage the people. But in return, the one thing that we always do is I always tell people, like, as soon as you forget that the client is what keeps us busy, and you get to a point to where you feel it's become about you, immediately you're going to lose money. The one thing that I always tell all of my barbers is, desperate money never makes money. Don't come in here desperate. Don't ever get to the point where you feel like, man, I need, because need turns into greed. And
Yep.
if you have those two things going, man, you're going to lose everything. And then what happens is you'll catch yourself getting very upset at the client. And once you start, because the client didn't pay you, or they didn't tip you enough, or they didn't do this or that or this, then it becomes about you, and it stops becoming about the client. So the one thing that we always have is we just got to keep customer service the number one. That is the main thing. Aside from that, we have a team that really challenges each other. And shout out to both of Vinny's, team and barbershops. Our team is incredible. They really are. And when I say that we're pushing these numbers, it's not because of Vinny. I can't do it without my team. And that's just the truth, man. And so shout out to my team. I mean, my guys in the barbershop, I mean, there's story after story after story of my team that have come from working two jobs, single mothers that are now homeowners, where myself homeless to being, multiple businesses and investing in. I build houses on the side. I have properties now. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So, but the real key factor is that our clients really buy into us as a people, and then as a business. And if you guys really want to grow your business, be involved in your community. I have a mentorship. It's peak performance mentorship. And what I do is I teach in my mentorship marketing. And one thing that we have is clear value proposition. So when somebody asks me about Vinny, I don't give them hey, come into my shop and you're going to hear some cool music, or it's going to be clean, or you can come in here and get it in and out real fast. That's just part of my experience. But the clear value proposition for me is, whenever you ask about Vinny's, I'm going to tell you, hey, we're involved in our community. We sponsor so many schools. We give free haircuts to our first responders. We give discounts to military. We've been able to make X amount of dollars in X amount of time. So I give you clear value proposition, which makes you want to come to my shop. Once you get into our shop, the rest is up to my barbers. And I tell them, you do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I bring them in, you keep them in. And that's literally our mentality. And so when the clients come to sit in our chair, I even teach my barbers, what is your clear value proposition as a barber? What are you doing that's so different than every other barber in this state? What are you doing in your chair that's so different? So this way, whenever you buy in to what it is that you're doing, your client is going to buy in as well. And so then you'll see sales going up. Then you'll see community being involved. And so, we're really, really engaged with our community. We give, I think last year, was it last year or the year before, we gave over $10,000 in just sponsorships and 501c3s. We give to the church. We give to communities, homeless. And, for back to school, here's a nugget for you owners right here. For back to school, Matthew, we don't even give away backpacks. What I do is I go to the school and I actually give away free haircuts to all the male teachers in the schools. And the reason I do that is because our teachers are very underpaid. Our teachers work their butts off and they don't get compensated enough. And so for Vinny's Barbershop, what we do is we're saying, hey, we know you guys are overlooked. We know you guys are underpaid. And what we want to do is we want to help you guys for doing for our children. And let me tell you, when I first did that, man, it was a hit. It was a hit. So if you're watching this, you can have that one and you can thank me later for that.
I love
So
that.
Yeah, no, that was it, man. Yeah, so we just keep our customers first, man. That's how they keep coming back, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, that community feel is exactly what you talked about. It brings the customers coming back. And so we'd love to hear from any of the watchers here, some similar things that you do in your community to help make sure that you're providing an impact to all of the people in your area. So one question that I have is that with Vagaro, we have a really unique tool for sharing client data between locations. And so, is there anything that you can help me understand how that helps you in knowing that if a customer visits one location and then goes to another, you're going to have the seamless notes and all that information? Do you guys have many customers that visit multiple of your locations instead of just one?
So we just opened up our second location, Matthew, in December.
Okay.
We haven't seen that a lot. However, it's starting to get to the point. It's only been 8 months for our second location, right? But we're starting to notice that some clients they get us mixed up. So they'll go, let's say they need to come here to the Woodlands, and then they wind up over there in Spring. Right. Well, it's real simple because all they have to do is go in there and type in the client's information and boom, it pulls right up and it's like it's seamless. So what could have been a uh-oh moment, what we do is we have meetings and we say, hey guys, if this happens, pull up the name, all of their notes are going to be there. And so it looks like we're it sounds crazy, but it looks like I'm super intentional on doing that. But it was a totally by a uh-oh moment. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
but shout out to Vagaro again, man, because if I didn't have it, dude, we would probably look crazy. You know what I mean? And so this way, the client's like, oh man, I went to the wrong shop, but hey, it's no problem. Listen, you're here. We have an available barber. We see it online that you booked with this person, that person. We noticed that you want to do a number two on the sides. We noticed that you booked before this and that, that and that. And so, dude, it just makes us look like this may sound bad, but it makes us look like we know what we're doing.
I love that.
That
Well,
sounds so horrible, but that's the truth. You know what I mean? We learn on the fly sometimes. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to Vagaro for making me look good.
I love that. And to the customer, that's the most important part is again, if we can walk in there and get an experience that it feels like it's genuine and that you guys are caring and knowing why we're there, it makes us look differently about that scenario. And so again, I think that that's props to you and what you're able to do to teach not only your specific managers, but every service provider in there to treat the customer as they should be treated and kind of make sure that they have the experience that they need. So that's cool.
Absolutely. Hey, and
And
shout out to my son too, because when they walk in, immediately my son's calling me over. He's like, "Hey, it happened again," and I'm like, "Did you play it off?" He was like, "Yeah, it went well," and I was like,
yeah,
"Sweet."
I love that. I love that. And so, it definitely seems like you've mastered the art of acquiring new clients and retaining existing ones. I know we've talked a little bit about some of the other ways that you captured them, but can you help me explain a little bit more about how you leverage Vagaro's marketing features, essentially to help them make sure that they return back to your business? Do you have campaigns set up? What do you do and utilize to make sure that they come back?
So we do have the campaign set up and we drop them, every now and then we do that. The one thing that works really well again is like major holidays that are coming, back to school that are coming, you know what I mean? We've won best barbershop in Houston. And so what we would do is even for stuff like that, we can send a email blast or a text message blast and we get a lot of votes for things of that nature. So Vagaro has really helped being it kind of fills in the gaps where back in the old days you would just hope that they would come back and you would hope that you service them when this way we can actually send surveys because we have everybody's email, so we can send surveys, we can send email blasts, text blasts, as I mentioned, and so it's just we don't do it often, Matthew, and the reason I don't do it often is because I don't want to overwhelm them. You know what I mean? That's just my own personal preference. Now the cool part about Vagaro is you can send out as many as you like, you know what I mean? So by all means, that's totally up to you. But for me, I don't want to overwhelm them, but I do want to be in their presence and kind of nudge them, you know what I mean? Like, hey, the holidays are coming up. You need a book now, or back to school's coming, book now. You got all of these prom pictures, book now, so typically what we do is we'll send an email and then we have dates and lists of all the big dates that are coming and what I feel that they need to get in. And so because of that, we're able to send because of Vagaro, we're able to send those things and it helps us so much. And then also it just eliminates the oh man, I hope people come. You know what I mean? The wish factor. It's just you're super intentional. So in order to grow the business, we have to be super intentional. And like I said, it seems like every single thing that we try to do or try to navigate around, Vagaro is there. You know what I mean? I mean, AI now. Vagaro even has AI, and that's incredible, bro, because for me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to think about what to type or what to, and AI just comes in and boom, and it sounds like Vinny actually knows what he's doing in terms of that part. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to AI, man. AI is killing this thing right now.
Absolutely. I think
uh,
that's key is, especially because we do have a few tools in the system where you can send out marketing on a individual location level. You can send it out on a brand level with some of our flagship features. So there's a lot of ways that you can make sure that the right message gets to the right person at the right time so that you do get that return. And so it's great to see that you're leveraging some of those tools, and appreciate you sharing that information. I guess one thing that I would, kind of in a similar way, for somebody watching who may be struggling with their marketing, is there one piece of advice that you may give them to see better results? Instead of a general everything, what is one specific piece of advice that you would give to somebody utilizing Vagaro to market better?
so I have this saying where I say, "Turtle pace, elephant imprints." Um, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush things. Anything healthy takes time to grow, right? Turtle pace, elephant imprints. Take your time, guys, but whenever you get ready and you make that mark, you leave that imprint and make it be known, that elephant imprint. Let it be known that when you leave and you make your next big move, people are going to look at that one imprint and say, you know what, they were here. I know they were here. I see their value. I see their brand. I see their product. So turtle pace, elephant imprints, right? And when I got with Vagaro and I got on Vagaro, you guys got to remember, this is like a slow burner for me, right? This is 7 years in business. And so I look at it as a slow burner. You just put it on there. Let's turn that heat on, but just give it time to work. You know what I'm saying? And the cool part is while I'm giving it time to work, Vagaro is constantly growing. Vagaro is constantly becoming innovative, creative, and they're just doing so many trend-setting things. And so as if that pot continues to heat up, Matthew, you know what I mean? It just continues to grow and grow. And whenever I get ready to serve it, man, it's like Vagaro's got the plate. You know what I'm saying? And I just throw it on the plate and let's go eat, baby. You know what I mean? And so because of that, that's why it's take your time, man. Healthy business takes time to grow. It just takes time to grow. So the cool part is that you guys, if you on Vagaro, if you join Vagaro, if you're watching this and you don't have Vagaro, listen, all I'm saying is we went from doing $200,000 to $1 million to now this year we're projected to do 2.2 million. So obviously something is working, and a big part of my growth is because I have a system like Vagaro that's able to help me grow it. But it takes time. Don't rush healthy growth. Anything that happens fast is not good. I hope that helps, man.
It does, and I'll say that you probably have another 2 million if I got charged every time I stole that sentence. So again, that talk about turtle pace and elephant footprints is really, really big, and again, it's inspired and helped me. So thank you for sharing that. And again, I think that's really impactful.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Vinny, you've shown us the right mentorship, the right mindset, and the right tools. Anything is possible. For anyone out there who's looking for hope and inspiration, how can they connect with you to get more support if they need it?
So you can find me on Instagram, obviously, Vinny De Leon 3. You can find us on our shop page, Vinny_barbershop. I have a peak performance mentorship, and if you're a shop owner, you can always, DM me or send me a message. We have links that we can send you, and we can help you where you can, we kind of go in and help your shop, and we look at everything from budgets to marketing to systems to managers to handbooks to a number of things that everything that I've done to help me get to this point is what I offer in my mentorship program. So you guys can find me on social media. You can always email me, Vinny@vinnysbarbershop.net, and we can talk that way. But yeah, those are pretty much the ways that you can get a hold of me. Of course, through Vagaro. You know what I mean? We have Vagaro We have the iconic coaching. So you can find me on Vagaro. You can actually click on those things and click on my name, and then we can connect that way as well. So yeah, Facebook, things of all of that nature, and but yeah, that's how you can get a hold of me.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. And, if you can believe it, we're out of time for today. And so thanks you for all your experience and expertise. It's been great getting to know you over this process. But now that you are a Vagaro Icon coaches program, where can people actually get the one-on-one mentoring with you, right? So would you mind telling us a little bit about what that includes and what it's like to work with you as an iconic coach?
So you can get a hold of me. We can talk to you anything from marketing. I have my own like I said, mentorship, and so we can get in there and really teach you with marketing. We can go in there and teach you with budgeting. We can teach you with a number of things. So you can click on that, and we can have one-on-one sessions. You can just get on the phone with me for 30 minutes, an hour, and whatever that looks like, and I can accommodate your questions, and we can really go in and dive in and spend some one-on-one time. It's not uncommon. I'm not hard to get a hold of. You know what I mean? So when you click on those on my name for that coaching, I'm going to give you my all with everything that I know. And it's just easy access too. You know what I'm saying? Again, shout out to Vagaro for making this available for people everywhere. There's a lot of struggling people. And let me tell you, the one thing that put me in my truck and being homeless was my pride. I did not want to expose my lack of, and so now that I'm able to help people, I want to help people. Like, that is my heart. I want to give hope to people, you know what I mean? And I spend the rest of my life helping people, and that's literally what my goal is. So whenever you call me up, we can be super transparent. We can help you. There's probably nothing that you guys haven't lived that I haven't been through. But it's just real intimate. You know what I'm saying, Matthew? It's real easy. Like, what you see is what you get, literally. I don't fake the funk. This is who I am. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get that genuine conversation, you're gonna get genuine knowledge, and then and if I don't know the answer, I'm not afraid to say, I'll call you back. Let me research. I don't lie. You know what I mean? There's no need to do that. So when you contact me, that's what you're gonna get, man.
I mean, that sounds great. I think that we'll put the link into for mentoring in the chat for everybody in the audience to be able to get some one-on-one time with you, Vinny. I know that my time with you, I don't know if I can repay you for the amount of hustle that I've been able to learn from you, but I do really, really appreciate your time. And that's all for this session. There will be more Iconic 24 sessions for you every Monday in September. Attend 3 days for your chance to win an exclusive giveaway.